Greed can be a powerful ally.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another Master Anakin Kenobi video. Today's video will be the first fanfiction that I have personally made with my own ideas and opinions since the start of my previous fanfiction series, which was of course generated by AI. Eventually I will start another AI series, but for now I'm going to focus on fanfictions that are solely made by me. With that being said, today's fanfiction will be what if Anakin and Obi Wan fought Count Dooku together in the Geonosian hangar bay during Episode 2 Attack of the Clones. I'm looking forward to seeing where this story will lead us, so without further ado, let's get on with the video. As Obi-Wan Kenobi and his young headstrong Padawan Anakin Skywalker sprinted into the hangar, they were met by Count Dooku, who at this point was the leader of the Separatist movement and was responsible for the attacks on Senator Amidala. They moved hastily into the hangar with their blue and green sabers at the ready. "You're gonna pay for all the Jedi that you've killed today, Dooku. We'll take them together. You come in slowly on the left." "Yes, Master." Anakin followed his master from behind as they were about to confront Dooku. The young Jedi suddenly felt a sense of peace and inner calmness. His master had calmed his initial urges to take Dooku head-on. That was not how they were going to beat him. If they indeed intended to be victorious, they would need to slow him down and take the fight to Dooku and make him tired. "Master Kenobi, you disappoint me. Yoda holds you in such high esteem." Obi-Wan and Anakin continued to pursue Dooku, using all of their effort and energy to keep him at bay. Kenobi was using his defensive form 3, Sorisu, while Anakin was using his extreme offensive form, Jem-So. The two Jedi complemented each other perfectly because one took a defensive approach and the other an offensive approach. As they engaged Dooku once more, the Sith Lord spun and twirled, making sure that each swing, jab, or blow landed with such precision. The three Force users moved across the hangar. Dooku was purposely leading the fight toward his ship so that he could allow himself to escape. The reason for this was not that he wasn't powerful enough to defeat both Kenobi and Skywalker, but the real reason was that he needed to converse with his master on Coruscant. The fierce battle raged on. Anakin had never faced such an opponent before. He had little experience with an opponent as skilled and powerful as Dooku. Despite this, he was still the chosen one, the one Jedi with the most potential by far. These factors alone kept Anakin in the fight. Obi-Wan was a skilled warrior and had worked extremely hard to reach his status, but he was losing his step. As Obi-Wan's blue blade sliced through the air, Dooku noticed a flaw in Obi-Wan's defense. Dooku then took this opportunity to raise his hand and throw a flurry of Force lightning at the young Jedi Knight. The attack rendered Obi-Wan defenseless and hurt on the floor. Anakin was now filled with anger and rage. Suddenly, Obi-Wan threw his blue lightsaber to Anakin, and the young Padawan now had two sabers, and he was going to use the form Jar-Kai, which was with two sabers, of course. Dooku could feel the Force switch tides as it seemed as if Anakin was trudging towards him in slow motion. Before he knew it, Anakin lunged at him with such ferocity. Of course, Dooku moved to the side to deflect the blow, but this attack seemed much more concentrated compared to Anakin's previous attacks. The two Force users danced across the hangar bay floor, lightsabers swirling in motion, lighting up the room with vibrant green, blue, and red colors. Suddenly, Dooku stopped, turned around, and noticed Anakin was distracted by his defenseless master, groaning in agony on the floor. The Sith Lord took this opportunity to launch a powerful attack, his blade cutting through the air with such deadly precision. He then lunged forward to attack the distracted young Jedi, but Anakin suddenly moved to the side with an extremely quick reaction to the Count's attack. Once again the two engaged each other, moving throughout the room. Suddenly Dooku leapt for his ship, but Anakin was faster, blocking Dooku's path to his solar sail starship. The two stood before each other, lightsabers at the ready, the air around them humming with energy. Dooku's red blade glowed ominously, the hilt of his lightsaber clutched tightly in his hand. Anakin's blue and green blades shimmered in the light, his grip on both weapons tight and resolute. At once, the two warriors circled each other, their eyes locked in a fierce stare. The air was thick with tension, and then suddenly Dooku struck. He lunged forward, his blade flashing through the air with deadly precision. Anakin jumped back, meeting Dooku's blade with his own in a fierce clash. The sound of metal on metal filled the air as the two warriors engaged in a furious battle. Over this time, Anakin continued to impress the Count. He was quick, agile, and possessed an almost primal ferocity that made him a difficult opponent. Suddenly, Anakin lunged at Dooku, but just like before, it was met by his crimson red saber. The two warriors seemed evenly matched, but Dooku had much more experience in lightsaber combat. Eventually, Dooku figured out how to exploit Anakin's weakness. At once, Dooku deactivated his saber, once again raising his fingers. Suddenly, Force lightning spewed out of his fingers right at Anakin. The young Padawan was quick to move to the side, but not before the lightning reached his green lightsaber handle, knocking it out of his hands and to the ground. Dooku then took this opportunity to attack. He turned his saber back on and used a powerful burst of energy to jump over Anakin. The Count now faced the Chosen One's backside and was about to thrust his saber across the young Jedi's arms. But before he could do so, Dooku was thrusted against the wall by a powerful force push. Dooku had not expected this attack, and he looked up and realized that it was his old teacher, Grand Master Yoda. Yoda had entered the hangar and performed the attack. Yoda had been informed that the Jedi had been pursuing Dooku and that their chase led them to this hangar. Fortunately for Anakin, Yoda had come to his and Obi Wan's rescue. Master Yoda.
Count Dooku.
Suddenly, Yoda activated his vibrant green lightsaber as Dooku stood up and activated his saber once again. All of this happened while Anakin was waiting to form up with Yoda and take Dooku together, just as him and Obi Wan had previously. Dooku knew he was no match for both of these two. Perhaps he wasn't even a match for Yoda alone. Nevertheless, if he were to be captured, his master would surely make ease of his release. So despite the odds, Dooku started to engage two of the most powerful Jedi in the galaxy. The three of them were moving so fast that only flashes of green, blue, and red were visible to the naked eye. Dooku gave all of his might and effort into every one of his strikes, but of course, both Yoda and Anakin effortlessly deflected each one. In a fit of rage, Dooku force-pushed Anakin to the ground, and for the third time raised his hand to shoot Force lightning in the direction of his old master. Of course, Yoda blocked it, but not with his saber, with his hand using Tuta Menace. Dooku was so distracted by this standoff with his old master that he could not see or foresee Anakin stand up and come from behind him, disarming Dooku of his lightsaber. Anakin did this while simultaneously dismembering the Count's hands. It was over. The two Jedi had bested Dooku and could now bring him to trial in front of the Republic Senate as a prisoner of war. Before leaving, Anakin and Yoda would help Obi-Wan to a cloned gunship as he needed immediate medical attention for his injuries. And so, the heroes of the Republic would gather their forces and travel back to Coruscant for Dooku's trial before both the Senate and the Jedi Council. And that is an end to today's fanfiction, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed this one as always. Please be sure to comment down below what you thought of this video, and also please be sure to comment down below what you think should happen in part 2, as I will be making part 2 very soon. Obviously with your guys' enhancements and comments that you make in the comments section down below. And as always,